Welcome to Shardcast, the Brandon Sanderson podcast. We're a bunch of mega fans giving you the news, discussion, and of course a whole lot of opinions about Brandon's works in the Cosmere. I'm Eric, and joining me is Ian.
Hey, I'm WeiryWriter.
Also joining me is Evgeni.
You've killed me, bastards! You've killed me! While the sun is still hot, I die!
This video has been flagged due to inappropriate language, but it is a death rattle for sure.
It is. Hi, I am known as the Argent.
No, you're not. Just Argent. Also joining me is the washed out Joshua.
Hey, I'm jofwu.
Yes,
Better the washed out jofwu than the washed up jofwu.
I blame daylight savings time. I think the sun's just in a different position than usual.
That is accurate.
Yeah, you know, you can get lights like I do. It's
Wow.
pretty cool.
Not everyone can set up a recording studio in their in their living space.
Look, I'm getting a house and I'm going to put acoustic foam tiles on every inch of my studio.
This is my Shardcast room.
The living room. Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
We don't entertain guests here. This is for Shardcast.
I mean, yeah. Also joining me is David, who has absolutely atrocious camera quality as per frickin' usual.
You're welcome. Hi, I'm David.
Yeah,
I'm
thanks.
Windrunner on the forums.
Great.
I do have a spare cam I can mail you.
Oh, just yeah. Well, you don't, like honestly, you don't have to do that. Like, I really enjoy this.
I really feel like I need to do that though.
There you go.
Evgeni's like, oh, your camera is a moral affront to me. So you're welcome, viewers. Today we were thinking that though we did a big analysis on all of the Oathbringer epigraphs, we really need more content, and so we thought we'd go back to old epigraphs and analyze those in similar ways.
I like how that's how you phrase it.
Yeah.
No, but like, see,
Look, people
Well,
wanted
I do
weekly
that.
podcasts. We got to give them the content they maybe want.
2020, just reading The Way of Kings backwards out loud.
Backwards, yes. We'll find new typos.
hunting for typos, yeah.
Yeah, right. But
Welcome to TypoCast.
there are, since Oathbringer, I think we'll get some interesting changes on how we see death rattles. I know we've brought up a few occasionally on the show, but we haven't gone through like all the death rattles, see what we think about each of them, hypothesize what they mean, because presumably they have meaning. I'm also excited to see us pronounce all of these Rosharan dates. That's going to be really great.
That is like super easy.
It is.
Yeah, if you're smart.
Well, there's the problem.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about Moloch for a second? A hot second?
We should.
Just gonna ask that because I think we should.
I think we
Ancient
should.
Babylonian god. No.
Well, yeah, that is true.
It's relevant.
So the death rattles are caused by the unmade Moloch. We saw Moloch's influence in Kharbranth in Way of Kings and on and in Alethkar. In
A Lethker?
wait.
That's not how sounds work.
It's a lathe car, Eric.
Aleph.
No, open A. Come on, people. Aleph
Alethkar.
car.
Yikes. Take
We
two.
also
Look.
saw it on the Shattered Plains.
Look. It's daylight savings time happened last night, and I'm gonna blame everything on me losing an hour of sleep. Okay? Yep.
That's fair.
Alethkar.
I like it better than how it should be said.
Look, I don't care what you guys think. I'm the host of this show, and I edit this.
Oh no.
podcast.
He just edits all of us saying a left car.
I just copy paste me saying it over everyone else.
Just grab sound bites from everyone that when put together come up to like Eric is right.
Yeah. I definitely don't have time to do that this week, but yeah.
So Moloch the Unmade is named after
Yeah.
Moloch, which is the biblical name of a Canaanite god associated with child sacrifice.
Fun.
That's fun.
Wait, is that confirmed that that's like it actually is like referencing that?
No.
I think it's.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's only off by like a
it's
letter.
fairly
Yeah.
obvious.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just wasn't.
There,
Okay.
all of the unmade are like Babylonian Canaanite gods.
Mhm.
I don't think all of them are
Uh,
Babylonian,
I
but
sh-
all of
not-
them are in that.
From
region.
that part of the world, there's very similar deities
Yeah,
that have
like-
similar names.
Nergal and Nurgle.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just hadn't seen if Brennan had been asked and said, "Oh yeah, it's definitely where I
Yeah.
got him from." But okay.
Yeah, no, we
I-
don't have a confirmation on that, but it's obvious.
It would be a good question.
Okay, maybe I'm just dumb.
It's interesting.
It's one of those things where it's like, it would be shocking if it wasn't.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean-
oh, just by coincidence, like all of these like creepy eldritch monsters share similar names with these ancient gods.
Oh yeah,
With-
I didn't know there
with
was all of
his-
them.
with
I just don't know ancient Babylonian mythology, which is I guess I missed that.
Ancient
gotta-
Mesopotamian stuff.
gotta brush up. Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of them are not exactly clear where they come from. Like I think Janat and
By Nemishram?
I don't know
No,
about that.
Diagonarthus and maybe Baromishram didn't have a direct parallel or as direct as things
Yeah.
like Moloch and Nergal.
Yeah, I think Diagonarthus is Dagon.
Yep.
And
Possibly-
Shanat, the consensus was Satan.
Oh. Great.
Eh.
Which, like,
I don't
I
know.
like.
nobody should trust her
Shana.
then.
That's a weak consensus.
Yeah.
I don't consensus.
I don't consent.
It's got all the right letters, just in a different order.
Yeah,
Plus
Yes.
J's.
Plus J. J's don't
Yeah,
count.
but they're silent.
Yep. Let's talk about ancient Babylonian mythology and the pronunciation of unmade. That's what you wanted.
Welcome to Babylon Cast.
Babylon Cast, where we talk about Babylon 5. That was a good show. Steering this back on track, Moloch is interesting because it seems like if he's in Kharbranth and we're getting we're getting death rattles from the Shattered Plains, he has a very wide range of influence.
well, I
agree.
don't know if he was necessarily in Kharbranth.
Well, that's true,
his
but
Maybe at the
influence was
midpoint.
felt there.
yeah, but
Yeah.
that's like still quite a radius.
He's
Yes.
hanging out in the Frostland somewhere, just chilling.
Yeah, because we definitely have. So in the Way of Kings, when Taravangian takes Zeth to his quote unquote hospitals, the bleeding rooms,
Mhm.
Zeth does hear a death rattle, and
Yeah.
that is at the end of the Way of Kings. And we have death rattles on the Shattered Plains. We'd have to look at a timeline, but close enough to around the same time that we can either say that his influence covers both places at the same time, or he's started moving recently.
Yeah.
Well, so
Taravangian's
Taravangian's
been
been
harvesting. Yeah, these for a
they've
while.
been coming for years though. That
Yes.
he's been grabbing
Well,
them.
for
so,
years, plural years.
they go back.
say yes.
I would say
I mean, they do
60s,
go
don't
to
they?
1172, and there's a few 1171. So, okay, yeah, plural years,
yeah.
but
I just kind of figured like when he started setting up hospitals was around the same time they started bleeding some people for some
well, Kharbranth
prophecies.
had
Oh, no.
hospitals prior.
Well, he said the thing he noticed them starting happening after Gavilar's death, if I'm recalling
Yes.
correctly, to Seb.
Yes, I recall
Yeah.
that as well.
So that is like 5 years that they've been getting at least some.
My thought is like the range that it is possible for death rattles to occur is far larger than it's like the range that you're going to get a high concentration.
that's fair.
So it's like
That
Yeah.
might be true.
a couple one-off death rattles on the Shattered Plains like could be accounted for.
has a wide range on that probability distribution, but when it
Yeah.
gets far off, then it's pretty unlikely.
Pretty
And-
sure Brennan's done that math.
Like death rattle frequency has decreased in Kharbranth with Moloch moving further away.
And he was moving towards cultivation's perpendicularity,
Mhm.
Yes.
which is very
By
exciting.
way of Yakoved.
Yep.
Get ready
Well-
ready for book 4.
It's in Yakoved, so yes.
Which is why we really mostly see these in Way of Kings. That's when we
Mhm.
get access to
Mhm.
them.
Yeah.
We get one in Words of Radiance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, we get
When
part of
King
one.
Balam dies.
Yeah. And which makes sense if Moloch's moving through Yakaved, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was a lot of unmade influence in Yakaved during the Vedan Civil War, with the Thrill was very active there. So that is very interesting. Oh, and in Oathbringer, Joshua, the dude collecting the Death Rattles, he's actually heading to Cultivation's Perpendicularity to get access to Death Rattles again.
Yeah, I'm
So
sure that'll
we'll
go well
probably
for
see
him.
more. We'll probably see more in book 4.
Hopefully, yeah, because they're really exciting.
Yeah, we gotta have those cryptic Death Rattles so we can get more foreshadowing.
It's a really cool way to do foreshadowing, I think.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I do want to cover the relevant sections from Hess's Mythica
Yeah, sure.
on Moloch. So Hess's Mythica, we got excerpts from it in the Oathbringer epigraphs. Talks about most of the Unmade, and here's what she had to say about Moloch. So she talks about Nergal, and then Moloch is very similar to Nergal, though instead of inspiring battle rage, he supposedly granted visions of the future. In this, lore and mythology align. Seeing the future originates with the Unmade and is from the enemy. Moloch was said to grant visions of the future at different times, but most importantly at the transition point between realms, when a soul was nearing the Tranquiline Halls. And then another 15 or so pages later, many cultures speak of the so-called death rattles that sometimes overtake people as they die. Tradition ascribes them to the Almighty, but I find too many to be seemingly prophetic. This will be my most contentious assertion, I'm sure, but I think these are the effects of Moloch persisting in our current times. Proof is easy to provide. The effect is regionalized and tends to move across Roshar. This is the roving of the Unmade.
Yep. It is. Can confirm.
Good job, Hesse.
Yeah. And they are weirdly prophetic, and
Or they can be.
they can be.
Some of them do appear to reference things of the past.
I guess that's true,
Or
yeah.
the present.
Which makes sense because if future sight,
Spiritual realm.
yes, all times are one.
It does make me
Statistically
wonder
speaking,
if some of
some
them
people
are,
should be glimpsing the past.
I was going to say, it makes me wonder if some of them are concerned the past rather than the future.
I think. Well, let's keep that in mind as we go through them a little later on.
Yeah.
Because I think we've seen some that refer to the past. How do we feel about this? Grand visions of the future at different times. At different times. That's interesting, by the way. But most commonly at the transition between realms. Obviously, this is referring to the point of death, when the mind goes into the cognitive realm, or the consciousness of the person goes into their cognitive aspect.
Guys, he's going to the perpendicularity where people transition realms.
Interesting.
Well, I think it's more
I
that
don't think that's what that is.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. He's heading to the perpendicularity.
Not wrong.
That's where he's going. I still think that's relevant to his future sight stuff.
What I'm thinking is that maybe if you are next to Moloch, you will get a lot more than just Death Rattles. Because if the Death Rattles are very wide range things, maybe you can get all sorts of other weird visions that don't involve you being near death.
Or get super access to fortune or something instead of just one-off.
It does say that he provides visions at various times, so I assume
Yeah.
there are other ways to get visions beyond needing to die.
Yeah.
But it's also important to remember that Moloch is one of the less intelligent Unmade. Like, he is just a force. Like, it doesn't have, well, it has a bit of a personality. Like Nergal. Like,
Yeah, okay.
you can't have a conversation with Nergal or Moloch.
Or
I don't think anyone is saying that, though.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
In general.
Yep.
I feel like Odium's moving around these Unmade at this stage. Because he wants to.
That is probably the case, yeah.
How would you get so many Unmade in Kolinar by coincidence? Like, there's
at
no
least
way.
like the unintelligent ones, he's probably prodding around.
Yeah, sure.
Like beasts.
And then
Mhm.
Xianat, he's like, yo, go here.
I think we should talk briefly about like what the point of them is. Almost, it's a really
To
strange thing that it's
unmake
just
things.
like, is this just like sort of an accident? Like this is just it causes these death rattles to happen, or is this somehow like to Odium's benefit? Like why
So,
does this happen?
do you think, hypothetically, just off the top of my head, that maybe at some point Odium was like, I want my forces to have easy access to fortune, because that's useful.
I do not. Because I think if he wanted to tell them something about the future, he would just tell the relevant people what he thinks is going to happen in the future. And not
And
leave
there
them to
are-
interpret weird,
Yeah.
semi-prophetic things that are open to wide interpretation.
Yeah, and in the listener songs, there's mentions of singer forms of power that have future sight.
Night
Like
form,
the
I
night
think.
form.
Night
Yeah,
form
yeah.
specifically.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Something that was in my mind while rereading Oathbringer is in the Kaza interlude. As Kaza is dying, the Iceniamian is like, I can't tell you why. There are things that could capture that information even from a dying soul.
Yep.
Mhm.
This might be Moloch's true purpose, and Death Rattle a side effect.
Mhm.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of how I describe it too. Is just that the death rattles are a side effect of Moloch's presence and its natural fortune telling stuff that it does.
Okay.
Hmm.
I could see that.
I mean, in some sense, we don't really know why things being of the future is of the enemy. Like, we don't really know what the purpose of that is on Odium's side, why he's providing so much future sight and weirdness, and Honor's just like, no, I will not do that, or Cultivation is saying, no, I don't want to do the same thing.
Honor's bad at it. That's why he doesn't do anything with it.
Yeah, but
So
Cultivation
it's like-
probably could.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's
Um,
we have had this conversation before. But it's like my opinion is like the vast majority of it is coming from the enemy. So it's just like all of it is like,
Sure.
no, that's of the enemy
Mhm.
because you don't know. Like,
Sure.
okay, are you getting this future sight from Cultivation or
Sure.
are you getting it from Odium, and therefore it's tainted?
Sure.
But that still leaves the question, why is the vast majority coming from Odium? That doesn't solve that question.
well, because I assume the Death Rattles were and have been prominent through the history of Roshar, and
Mhm.
once you establish that Hesi says it in the Mythica, future sight originates with the unmade and therefore with the enemy.
Mhm. But
And
why
so-
would Cultivation not do something similar in the past so it would not have been historically associated with Odium? That's what I'm
Maybe
getting at.
Odium just went ham with Future Sight, and the others are like, hey, this would be a really good way for Odium to manipulate people, as Ian's saying, so we just need to not do it.
I think Cultivation has a smarter idea. It's because we've seen with Adium, like multiple sources of future sight interfere with each other. So it's like she doesn't want people interfering with her view of the future. Maybe.
Okay, so let's talk about the Death Rattles themselves. So,
Sure.
You've killed me, bastards, you've killed me. While the sun is still hot, I die. Collected on Chachaba, 1171, 10 seconds pre-death, by the Silent Gatherers. Subject was a dark-eyed soldier, 31 years of age. Sample is considered questionable. It's like, well, why is this sample considered questionable?
Because I think he's going, yo, guys, I can tell you're murdering me and I'm not happy about it.
Yes, that is a valid point.
There's a few others that say they're questionable. My interpretation is they can't quite tell if it's
A death rattle.
a
or
death
someone
rattle
saying-
or it's the person
talking.
realizing what they're doing. and-
Screaming at them.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing that stands out to me about this one is the whole, while the sun is still hot, I die. But that could just be him being kind of metaphorical, where I'm like, well, I'm still alive.
The
Like, I'm
only
doing fine, you're killing me.
the only thing I can think of with the sun still hot is like Odium's essence was kind of described as like it would
burning
burn
sun.
people away or something. But that's kind of a stretch, maybe.
Yeah. I know a long time ago people used to talk about Odium putting the sun out in the Rasharan system, and that was like their whole like thing. But I don't think that's probably gonna
I don't think
happen.
Odium would do that.
It'd be hard for Kaladin to stop.
Although that does seem very efficient to kill them all. But, just
Yeah.
destroy the sun.
The singers would be kind of sad.
Well,
Tough.
tough.
We then follow up with the love of man is a frigid thing, a mountain stream only 3 steps from the ice. We are his, O Stormfather, we are his. It is but 1,000 day, and the other storm comes. That's weird.
That is weird.
Obviously, the second half is a prophecy for the coming of the Everstorm. Like, it literally says that.
This is the very first epigraph.
Well, so this one actually bothers
It's-
me because the Everstorm does not come in 1,000 days. Exactly.
Yeah. It's
I will
I'm
counter that with the spiritual realm is weird.
I will counter that with someone's going, "Hey, the Everstorm's about 2 years away, guys."
Roughly 2 years.
Yeah,
If it's
I'll say
collected
this.
1171, yeah.
yeah.
It's about half a year. It's several months before the Everstorm comes. It makes me wonder if it's the date that Talon breaks.
Those
Ooh,
mini theory.
that is a good idea.
Brandon said that he was there a couple months before, right?
Yeah.
So that would be a
yeah,
well,
it's
couple months.
229 days. Yeah.
I think
like
ballpark it's
4
the right time
months,
period.
4.5 months. Yeah.
So even if that's the case, it really has no consequence at all. But
I like that this just says we are his, as in we are odiums, referring to humans. It's right here. This is the Way of Kings prologue epigraph right here, which is pretty great.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we've always interpreted this as like Odium is he's winning or he's won.
Yeah, right.
Like, so he's taken over, but
It's just looking back at it like, yeah, you are his, actually. Yeah.
yeah.
About that.
This was collected on Shashahez 1171, 31 seconds pre-death by the Silent Gatherers, which are Teravangians, murder nurses.
Murder.
Are they not, though?
That's what that says on their resumes.
Hey, they are also good scribes. They also write things down. They don't just murder.
Subject was a dark-eyed pregnant woman of middle years. The child did not survive.
Rip
Child.
So the next one is 10 orders. We were loved once. Why have you forsaken us, Almighty? Shard of my soul, why have you gone? Where have you gone? This is collected Kakan 1171, 5 seconds pre-death by the Silent Gatherers. Subject was a light-eyed woman in her 3rd decade.
Also interesting post Oathbringer, because it's kind of referring to the Almighty forsaking the Radiance, which he kind of did.
Yeah.
That is true.
So this would appear to be a Death Rattle referencing the past.
From the past.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And
It has
also
a bit of flavor to the idea that they felt betrayed by Honor. It seems like.
Or at least abandoned.
Abandoned, yeah.
Yeah. Honor's not helping anymore. Also good device to have the epigraphs refer to the Knights Radiant early on in Way of Kings, of course, but...
Well, same thing with the last one, referencing the Everstorm.
Absolutely, yeah. Yep.
It is interesting that the speaker here says "Shard of my soul."
That is really interesting.
Which is something I would ascribe more to a herald, perhaps. It would have made more sense to me for that to come from a herald. Now, it could be a turn of phrase. It's just something they said back in the day, like how people say Gemheart right now.
Yeah.
It could refer to the Knight's Spren.
Oh, the Night Spren?
So yeah, no, the Spren of the Knight's Radiant, the Radiant Spren.
Oh, gotcha.
So one
I was like,
obviously it's referring to the Night
know.
Spren. They come out when the stars are up.
Yeah.
So one thought: why have you forsaken us, Almighty? And then Shard of my soul is not a reference to the Almighty. It's another thought. Hey, what's going on?
Shard of my soul, where have you gone? That could refer to Spren, I suppose, if this is...
But
It's
I don't know. That just doesn't feel right to me.
Well,
No, it doesn't.
I can kind of see it because you're really connected with your spren, and you'd also call that a shard.
Would you?
But-
Clearly, they were
Spren-
called shard blades. The
Spren of my
spren
soul,
were
They
where
were
have you
shard
gone?
blades.
You
I don't know.
Yeah.
Why were they
I
called
just-
shard blades? It doesn't make sense for them to be called shards in the first place. I don't know.
Well, it's all in translation, Eric. In world, they're
Oh,
probably
that's
called something
you
unpronounceable.
got. Yeah, I like that.
Mhm. That's more of a generic, like, this is an incredibly invested weapon. It comes from the shards. It's a shard.
I have never liked that.
I
But
don't
it's
know.
called a shard blade because it comes from the shards.
That's
I-
Brandon's explanation.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm
That's
just saying that I
why
feel like that
Nightblood
is very
also a
straightforward.
shard blade.
I think they could be indicating that here. Yeah, potentially.
I just feel
I think that's
I feel like
possible.
they're saying, Honor refers to himself as the father and creator of mankind. He's the shard of their soul.
Okay, all
That's
right.
what I
Yeah,
think they're talking
I just think
about.
it's a phrase.
I think it's just a
That's-
continuation.
I like that as well.
Yeah, and these are magical phrasings. Theoretically, well, Moloch wouldn't know the correct terminology because not intelligent, but there's magic going on here. We should pay attention. We should assume that words that have high level of Cosmere importance are being used correctly.
It's really interesting
Actually,
because this
what if it's
feels
not
like
that?
a thing that a Radiant said a long time ago that Moloch's like repeating in some way.
Maybe.
Hmm.
Well, that he is allowing someone to glimpse.
Yeah,
the spiritual
right.
And so we could actually be looking at a translation problem where you're looking into the spiritual realm, you're tapping fortune, whatever, you're getting an idea of what that person said, but your interpretation is different from the actual phrasing.
It's just interesting. Let's talk about the next one because some of these seem like it's a person talking, and some of these are narration,
Mhm.
which is interesting.
A man stood on a cliffside and watched his homeland fall into dust. The waters surged beneath, so far beneath, and he heard a child crying. They were his own tears. Collected on, I can't see the dates, 30 seconds pre-death by the silent gatherers. Subject was a cobbler of some renown.
Now, before we address this one at all,
Yeah.
there was a forum thread, or maybe a Reddit thread, I don't remember, a while back that suggested that this death rattle may be a part of kind of a bigger scene of several death rattles that all address the same moment in time, but from different perspectives. And so I would need a moment to find all of them.
That's fine.
A cobbler of summer noun. It's obviously referring to Eames' father.
Ah,
It all comes together.
So I found the death rattles that I thought were being referenced in that original forum post. And so the first one is, we just read this one, right? Man stood on the cliffside.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then we have one that says, I'm cold. Mother, I'm cold. Mother, why can I still hear the rain? Will it stop? The third one goes, I am standing over the body of a brother. I'm weeping. Is that his blood or mine? What have I done? And the final one, I hold the suckling child in my hands, a knife at his throat, and know that all who live wish me to let the blade slip. Spill its blood upon the ground over my hands, and with it gain us further breath to draw. Now, the next one I'm not sure about. I don't remember if it was part of the original sequence, but I think it might be.
Okay.
Light grows so distant, the storm never stops. I am broken, and all around me have died. I weep for the end of all things. He has won. Oh, he's beaten us. The idea was there is a running theme of storm and water. And first one, man stands on the cliffside.
Yeah.
Homeland falls into dust.
Yep.
There are waters surging beneath. He hears a child crying.
Mm-hmm.
They were his own tears. We ignore that. And
That seems
then
relevant, but okay.
sure. Then the one that says, "I'm cold, mother, I'm cold. Why can I still hear the rain? Will it stop?" Could be the crying child from the first one. And then the two that talk about standing over the body of a brother, weeping, holding the suckling child in my hands, knife at his throat, those could also be referring to the same child.
But he's standing over the body of a brother, is he not? Not the. I
Well,
guess it could be
like
a
his
child
brother.
brother. I just
Yeah.
think he's the one crying in the original epigraph, so that's why I'm kind of not following this train. But
Yes.
Yeah.
I am also not doing the original thread much justice.
Yeah, yes, storms and water have a running theme because they are incredibly important on Roshar, so they would be a running theme in everything.
I
So,
also think that it is that there should be a distinction we should make between these ones that a man stood on a cliffside. Someone's not saying that. It seems more like narration. It's different than the quote ones, where it
then
feels
I'm
like
standing on a cliffside.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I feel like that matters. To me, that matters.
yeah.
It seems like they're seeing a vision of something rather than connecting with like someone's point of view.
Well, but it
that's
doesn't
true.
need to be like one person experiencing a death rattle could see a scene and narrate that scene while
that's
another
what he's just saying. Yeah, true.
Okay.
goes into the scene.
True, rather than like a quote from that scene. Okay, that's fair. I accept that. Let's. I don't know if I buy that these are connected. They did not feel particularly connected to me. I'm also very bad with poetry and stuff like this, so I'm a very literal person. So
let's dissect these separately.
yeah,
Let's just do them as.
So
as
it's
we go.
cliffside. Watch his homeland fall into dust. The first thing that reminds me of is Natanatan, perhaps.
Oh, really? Because it reminded me of Dalinar's first/last vision.
Oh, in Culinary, that's true. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I always
The
thought
only
about
difference
Ashen,
is
but
there is no water surging beneath in the vision.
Yeah.
Correct.
Whereas
It's just darkness.
The only, well, this doesn't quite work, but hey, if you're on the Shattered Plains and the storm comes, there's lots of water underneath. Okay, that didn't work out super great, but
No.
for me, like the way I look at these is this is like a really large scale destruction. It sounds like if an entire homeland is like falling to dust. I either think it's past, Ashen, or future, end of book 5 bad stuff, which is gonna be my answer for a lot of these. But you know,
well, Natanatan was a pretty catastrophic event as well when that was
Yeah.
destroyed.
But
But
I'm just saying,
I
I'm
see
just
that
saying
point.
this is what I think of.
Yeah, sure.
Not necessarily. Yeah.
Sure. Anything else in this one?
It is an interesting one, but I don't know if
They were his own tears. Is that referring to the water or the
The crying.
I think it says
The-
I think it means he's crying like a child, essentially.
Yeah,
like he's
that's
hearing
I
him
agree.
I got you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Let's do the next one.
sure.
I'm dying, aren't I? Healer, why do you take my blood? Who is that beside you? With his head of lines, I can see a distant sun, dark and cold, shining in a black sky. Collected on Jessanok 1172, 11 seconds pre-death. Subject was a Resi Chol trainer. Sample is of particular note. Well, this doesn't really seem like a death rattle. This sounds like someone just glimpsing into Shadesmar and being confused.
Yeah.
Which could still be the effects of Moloch.
I guess that's true.
Oh, I absolutely
Yeah.
think it's an effect of Moloch. It's just
Not prophetic.
not prophetic. It's maybe something about this person is interacting with it weirdly, and they're not actually getting into the spiritual mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, just the cognitive mumbo jumbo.
Just the cognitive mumbo jumbo, yeah.
And seeing a cryptic, presumably. So.
Yep. I think this one is pretty straightforward.
Yep. Agree.
So the cryptics are investigating the Silent Gatherers, which is not a surprise.
Well, there's lots of lies, so I mean, that makes sense that there would just be
And-
some cryptics drawn to that.
And we know there are at least a few of them in Kharbranth as of the events of the Way of Kings.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, whether that's, Pattern and his buddies just looking at Shallan, or they are all there for their own reasons.
Yeah, this was
would have been long
1172.
before.
Yeah.
Well, it was. Okay, sure.
But also interesting that Kharbranth is a water city, so in Shadesmar it would be by land. So
Mhm.
it could be easier for Spren to just be chilling there.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That is true.
You don't need a ship.
Is there
Get out.
anything
Well,
on that side of the
be where they are, they would need to be on a ship, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you
it's
can
a lot
kind of
closer
move
to
the
shore.
beads around. I don't know. It's a little
I don't know.
funky.
It's not one-to-one.
All right.
I have seen the end and have heard it named, the Night of Sorrows, the True Desolation, the Everstorm. Collected on Noun SS 1172, 15 seconds pre-death. Subject was a dark-eyed youth of unknown origin.
Well, I always find it interesting that we call it the Everstorm. No one in book has actually called it the True Desolation yet.
No.
But we do use that on the Copper Mind a lot.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, no, doesn't Honor say like this is a true desolation? Like, I'm
I don't
pretty
think
sure
he
they
says that explicitly.
Think somebody does.
I honestly do. I don't think that. I'm
But
pretty sure
what I do know is that the Night of Sorrows has not been said.
standing in for Grace there. Yeah.
It has not.
And these are all said separately, so they're not exactly the same thing.
Yeah, so I don't know what Night of Sorrows means. I
Bad
don't-
stuff. End of book 5.
Bad stuff.
Maybe, yeah, probably.
There's
Uh,
still a whole bunch of powerful views that have not woken up yet.
Yeah,
It says the Night of Sorrows, comma, the True Desolation, period, the Everstorm.
see, I always, before Oathbringer came out, I always thought that the Night of Sorrows would just be when the Everstorm passed again, but that is not the case.
Or at least no
guess-
one calls it that.
No.
To me, it seems like it's linking Night of Sorrows and the True Desolation as, like, these are just two phrases for the same thing.
So a part of the confusion comes from, I think, the fact that. So first of all, the Almighty is the first one to talk about this, and it is in the sentence, "The Night of Sorrows will come, comma, and the true desolation, period, the Everstorm." And then on multiple occasions throughout the book, Dalinar is thinking about these lines and not quoting them exactly.
Damn it, Dalinar.
Right. The Night of Sorrows will come, and the true desolation, the Everstorm.
Brandon has raffoed whether we've seen the Night of Sorrows yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's something distinct.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, if you're seeing echoes of the spiritual realm and people are calling it Night of Sorrows, like, we use the word Everstorm a lot, so I feel like it's going to be referred to as the Night of Sorrows a crap ton at some point, whatever that means.
Yeah, I am glad that Brandon got the word Everstorm out there though, because I was getting real tired of people going, the backwards high storm hit us.
True.
The reverse high storm.
Cool. Next one.
Deja vu, boys and girls.
Uh-huh.
I am cold. Mother, I am cold. Mother? Why can I still hear the rain? Will it stop?
Get a blanket.
Oh, jeez.
It's a child, Eric.
Approximately 6 years old.
Collected on Vivishes, 1172, 30 seconds pre-death, West Angaras. Lightite female child, approximately 6. Also creepy.
That's interesting that it was a child and it's seems
And it
like
appears
it,
to be.
yeah, a child in whatever thing she saw.
Yeah, I actually don't know if this is a true death rattle.
That's completely valid.
That I think this might be like a child like interpreting the vision she's seeing is making her cold and she's hearing rain as part of that, but she's not communicating the vision.
Sure. Okay.
So I feel, considering the scrutiny we see in some of those by the silent gatherers, I think they would have noted if it was raining outside at the time of this recording.
No, the raining is part of the vision.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm not disputing that. Which is probably why there's no, this is of questionable whatever.
Yeah.
In
So
the notation.
what are you disputing then?
That this she's like quoting someone in a vision.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
she
It's just
doesn't
like-
necessarily need to be quoting something.
Okay, sure.
She gets the feeling that she's cold and she hears rain through this vision. And she's
Gotcha.
just saying that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So if we're gonna just pitch crack theories here too, this is
Yeah.
like an early. This is an early. David reads The Way of Kings for the first time in the year 2011.
Oh,
So
this is good.
between this with the rain and then later when it goes like, oh, the storm never stops. I took the Everstorm as being quite literally ever and
The
just be
ever
constantly storming. And so unlikely, but you never know if the Everstorm becomes just constant, and that's how Odium decides to kill everybody. Just throwing that out.
Maybe-
Like
maybe
the
that's the Night of
weeping
Sorrows.
only all the time in an
Love it
actual
now.
storm.
Yeah, that was like what like when I first read the book, like I thought that was Odium's plan, was that eventually he was going to get a storm and it was just going to be constant and humanity wouldn't be able to do anything.
Just
That
go,
sounds
just go
really
all
depressing.
full biblical on them.
Yeah, clearly
I-
that's not how it at least initially
I
happened.
wouldn't
but-
say the true desolation and all of this stuff is particularly fun. Yeah, it's pretty miserable.
Okay, the singers are having the best time they've ever had. So
Well, that they ever had. I can think of one time that they'd prefer it to be.
before the humans showed up, since literally 10,000 years ago, this is the best it's been. 'cause they can think
Okay,
now.
there you go. Maybe.
Okay.
Okay.
Next, they are a flame. They burn. They bring the darkness when they come, and so all you can see is their skin. Is a flame. Burn, burn, burn. Collected on Pala Ishev, 1172, 21 seconds pre-death by the Silent Gatherers, a baker's apprentice.
Huh.
So Yasna thinks that refers to the singer, to the Prashendi.
Mhm.
Yep.
We definitely don't see a lot of burning Voidbringers, though.
Well,
Like,
we
you know, I definitely
most-
thought we'd see more fire when we first read this.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of
with the
eyes
Voidbringers.
glowing red and not a lot of fire. But,
Yeah.
Also, not a lot of darkness.
No.
well,
We haven't
That
seen
could
a
be
lot
nice.
of
There's a
thunder
lot
clouds.
of like fire imagery, like just like talking about the coloration of Singer skin, like the red, the black, and the white. It's like
Yeah.
fire and ash. That's a very common thing.
The thunderclasts have like their eyes are described as like a flame, right?
I thought I pictured it more as lava below the surface.
They're red. I know that.
They are red, and I think we are looking at like hollow like cavities and then light spheres inside, and they just glow red.
we also, I mean, the bringing darkness, the void light kind of clings. It kind of,
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
pulls
true.
inward rather than glowing out. We also haven't seen a lot of the fused abilities. We've seen a few notable ones, but we see a lot of gravitation usage. We see the fused at the end using abrasion, right?
And
yeah.
illumination.
and
and
illumination.
And
illumination.
illumination.
But well, in my mind, the fused abilities aren't going to look all that dissimilar from the radiant abilities, and like what will be distinct are whatever the regals can do with like night form and decay form
Well,
and stuff like that.
I suppose what I'm getting at is we haven't seen a fused use division really effectively, which
Fair.
could be a lot of fire,
Yeah, that's what I was
you
thinking.
know?
Yeah, I guess we haven't seen anyone really aside
No.
from those nice arts and crafts that Mulata makes. We haven't seen a lot of division.
I mean, it's a very convenient writerly strategy. Oh, let's have the fuse use the abilities that you already know so you're not very confused, rather than at the Battle of Thalen Field with a bunch of fuse like, yeah, I'm using tension and or cohesion a ton, and you're like, I don't know what any of this it means.
There was
So
the
there
one
is
that had
that-
the blade on his
Yeah, I
hand.
was just about to mention, like we shaped
Saw.
the carapace on his
That's
arm
true.
into a
True.
claw. Like,
True.
what is that?
Yeah.
I mean, that
I feel like
felt
that is cohesion
like
or tension or whatever the
stone-worthy.
hell it is.
Yeah, the same. The turn stone into putty.
Yep.
And they're
Surge.
just and they just have like it's not living, so they can kind of reshape their body, which is a cool way for that to, since it's carapace, and in terms of stormlight, it doesn't count as living tissue.
Let's do the next one.
Victory. We stand atop the mount. We scatter them before us. Their homes become our dens. Their lands are now our farms. And they shall burn, as we once did, in a place that is hollow and forlorn. Collected on Vama, 18 seconds pre-death by the Silent Gatherers. Subject was a light-eyed spinster of the 8th Dawn.
This is
What
one
a
of my
good death rattle.
That's so
This is-
good.
Yeah.
Obviously, in post Oathbringer world, this is referring to the humans winning
Yeah.
the war against the Dawn Singers.
I completely agree. It's also interesting that one could also interpret that to be the future of the Singers coming back and then taking the humans' crap
Mhm.
back. But
Yeah.
it works both ways. That's the best
it
part
does.
about it.
The question
Yeah.
is the place that is hollow and forlorn ashen or braze?
That's great. That's a great
I don't
question. That's a great
Who is
question.
more like? Who is more
Say
likely to use the word
word.
home, and who is more likely to use the word den? That's my question. Because I feel like the Singers could be the den. It could be den folk, but that seems. I also don't know if I like that, because that feels like that feels.
Let's analyze the diction of this. But I mean,
We
a
are
good
literally
point, though.
analyzing sentences here.
I
so
know,
might
I
as
know,
well look
I
at the
know,
word
I know.
choice.
well,
but-
that's true.
Mm.
And maybe Brandon just didn't want to write their homes become our homes. It's like, what's a synonym for home? 10. Great, cool, nailed it.
Yeah, true.
It's like I do think it's more likely that this is from the perspective of the humans.
I agree.
It just makes so much more like narrative sense.
Well, yeah, because the
Um,
Singers, the Fuse don't care about the homes or anything. They're in charge, so
Mhm.
they don't really care about that nearly as much. But the humans, they burning in ashen, it's on fire,
This-
lava.
Honestly, this feels more vengeful to me. Like I would honestly say this is more the future, because they're like, "Ha, we burned for a while. Now it's your turn." Like the humans weren't like getting vengeance on the Singers. They were, when they conquered Rashard, they were just taking lands that were theirs.
Well, I mean, we don't
this
know
feels
the
real
extent of
vengeance-y
the
to me.
human Voidbringers and how awful they were. I'm gonna go with some of them were probably extremely awful.
I'm just saying this feels like vengeance, not just an initial conquest.
Yeah.
And maybe there's a reason they would have wanted vengeance in the past.
I guess
but
that's true.
It seems like the humans were the
I read it.
aggressors, not people who were. They were given like a nice little land for themselves, and then chose that they did not want that.
It
That's
does
how I read it as well.
feel like vengeance, I agree. But the Dawn Singers have never burned.
The fused,
Yeah.
the fused were in hell, kind of. But that's cold, not hot. So,
Yeah,
but Braze is hot in
is-
some way for the Herald.
Yeah, for the heralds.
yeah.
So is this a herald speaking?
I don't.
that
think
doesn't-
There's a later one
know.
that is, I think, is almost certainly a Herald speaking.
well,
but
we will get to that.
Yeah,
I'm not going to read
no,
it. Eric,
I
but-
do not
Hmm.
believe in the slightest this is a herald.
No.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
just messing with you.
Look, this is the quality content you want. That we refer to about 4 sentences, and then we get 10 minutes of content out of it. That's what you want on this show. Maybe some of you, a non-zero amount of you, probably. Okay. 10 people with shard blades alight standing before a wall of black and white and red. Collected on Jesikev 1173 now. 12 seconds pre-death. Subject was an Argent of the member of the Silent Gatherers, overheard during his last moments.
They are so
Oh.
efficient. Even their own deaths, they are getting those
We're
death rattles.
ready.
Getting those hours in.
Yep.
Yeah. Is this the end of Oathbringer?
No.
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 I feel
No.
like this is
Okay.
referring to heralds.
Yep.
Could
And
be.
the wall of black, white, and red are very well established
Singer
singer colors. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, for sure. But all I'm saying is at the end of Oathbringer, there are 10 people. Some of them got shard blades, and there are a lot of singers around there, even though they're not the ones they're specifically fighting.
There's only
So
9
it
of
could
them,
be
right?
it could be something else, but I'm just throwing that out there as a possibility.
And the heralds didn't even help in that fight.
But there were 10 people.
And Venli was not exactly there, and she was also colorless.
Did not have a
standing
shard blade.
there.
And
No,
also,
it doesn't say
Dalinar didn't
10
have a
shard blade. It doesn't say 10 shard blades of light. It says 10 people. Shard
Okay,
blades
all
of
right, all right. That's true.
With shard
I'm just
blades
saying-
of light.
I'm saying it's not saying that each of them has their own. I'm just throwing
10
out possibilities.
people are there against the black, white, and red, and at least a non-zero amount of them have shard blades. At least 2. But I agree that it's probably more likely heralds with shard blades.
Yeah,
What a
all I'm saying is
great
later
Death
they go two men emerge from a pit, and we know that it was one man and one woman, in fact. So these are not 100% directly specific.
Well,
These are
especially
is
with the
fair.
narration, right? Because if we're saying that a human is glimpsing a scene, they're not
And describing.
quoting a story, they're interpreting what their mind is seeing as the death rattle, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
So,
Still don't think.
I can stop offering.
No,
less exciting
I totally
possibilities.
agree. This is the pedantic cast that I want. This is exactly what I want. Oh, Ian! Oh,
Yes,
you get this
I'm very
one.
happy.
This could be its own podcast in and of itself.
Yes. 3 of 16 ruled, but now the broken one reigns. Collected on Chachanon, 1173, 84 seconds pre-death. Subject was a cut purse with the wasting sickness of partial Iriali descent.
Ooh.
I don't like the Iriali descent.
Why?
That's racist.
Yeah, it really is.
Because I mean it is. This is obviously this talks about shards.
Yes.
Which shards?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know
Mm.
about.
The 3 of 16, I think we have a pretty good handle on.
Talk about the 16.
Well,
cod
but we
medal.
also had a pretty good handle on the broken one. Anyway, so this talks
Did we?
about a big topic, and the person who talks about it is somebody who is potentially a half dragon kin.
What?
A half dragon kin. Okay.
I for you viewers, I suppose Evgeni is saying that Iriali could be part dragon.
Yes.
What?
I don't
Maybe.
see how that
Where-
has any bearing on this discussion.
Where did that come from?
Okay.
Even
Let's
What?
rein this back a little bit. Let's
I've
no,
never,
rein this
ever
back.
heard that theory.
No, I will not be derailed. We're gonna re-rail
No rail.
this. No.
No rails.
No. So, what scene could this person have been witnessing to say this? Like, this is very specific.
Well,
I think it's honestly like super general, actually, and he's just like, "Oh, there are 3 shards, and then now 2 of them don't do much." This is a boring interpretation, but like,
That is an extremely boring interpretation.
yeah,
Unless this is someone saying that, this seems really weird to see a vision of a thing and then say this, right?
I think that you might be a little too hung up on seeing a vision
Yeah.
Yeah,
as opposed to tapping into the spiritual realm.
I guess.
That is, like-
yeah.
It's not like they're just like seeing an IMAX screen of something and they're talking about it.
That's
They're like
fair.
only
It could be
only
exactly
journalists
that.
do
You're-
that.
spiritual realm and it's being expressed through them.
I'm sorry. I'm too literal for the spiritual mumbo jumbo. That is completely valid. I completely own to that.
3 of 16 honor cultivation odium.
Yep.
I don't think that's up for debate from
Agreed.
anyone.
unless there was a secret 3rd shard on Rashar.
You mean a
that we're
secret?
all-
Yeah, right.
I mean,
yeah.
technically, all of them were invested there. So.
Yes.
Thanks, Brandon. That was
I remember because I was sitting next to David. SpoCon 2013. We asked this twice, and Brandon just says, technically, they all were invested on Roshar. Like, because I was
Yeah.
trying to get at this in particular,
Mhm.
right here.
Yeah.
So thanks, Brandon. Which
Question
we know why that is.
is
Yes.
who is the broken one?
Well, and also interesting with that is 3 of 16 ruled. I mean, they didn't rule together per se. They kind
No.
of
In the
ruled
system.
yeah, or they ruled in that opposing kingdoms have rulers, I guess,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
are fighting a lot, but
I like this as the three lived in peace-ish
Until the Fire Nation attacked.
until literally the Fire Nation attacked.
Until
yes.
the Broken One attacked.
Mhm.
Now, the Broken One, the Stormfather refers to Odium as with lines like Odium reigns. He doesn't say the
Yeah.
Broken One reigns, but that seems really similar to this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It does.
And we know Odium is at least injured, so
Yeah.
he's not as broken as Honor, who would be a very literal broken one. But
The Broken One reigns. The Radiants are going out of control. No, that's not what this is referring to.
There was a fun crackpotty kind of theory that was disproven
Uh-huh.
that claimed that Death Rattles are not to be taken for what they look like. And so Reigns might be RAI and
Boo! Boo!
and the Broken One is Honor, whose investiture rains from the skies in the high storms.
I hate that so much.
Yeah, I
Me
do
too. But I find that hilarious.
I think it's
its-
fantastic theory crafting. I don't hate that one in particular, but
I
That's
think
great,
it is a clever way of
Yeah.
approaching. Now, Rashara asked, and no, that's not the case. It's actually this Reigns, but I think it was someone.
I mean, how would the Silent Gatherers know when things?
Right. That's exactly the
Thing is,
explanation.
they're not speaking English. In the
They're
first
right,
place.
exactly. Yeah.
No, but
So-
maybe in their language, rain and rain are also
Maybe exactly in Carbronthian.
Like
Yeah.
it's like Vin and Vindication. Sure, that works
Yeah.
out.
We do get some of that, but mostly when it comes to humor. So
Yeah.
I don't
Right,
think
right.
Vin would do that with
If-
such an important.
Only
So
so
when
if the Alethi word actually sounded like some other Alethi word, it really could be literally anything. Whatever reigns in Alethi happens to be a homophone with.
Yep.
so we're really in
Um,
trouble now.
Yep.
There's no way of knowing what it means.
But let's assume we take it at face value with that.
what does anything even mean?
What? Are we just thinking Broken One because Odium's injured?
I think Broken One because like a broken in the head kind of way, because he's twisted, because he is cruel and murderous and hateful and
Hey,
doesn't
that's a
want to
good
play
thing.
with the others.
Hey, Evgeni, from my point of view, the Jedi are evil, okay? That's just a point of view, all right?
He's really passionate. about
but-
hate
that.
sand.
I don't think Odium has any illusions on his goodness. He just doesn't care.
But
Well,
that's not a vision coming from
Yeah.
Odium.
I don't even
Well-
think he's a bad guy. That was his whole point of his talk with Dalinar. He's like, I'm everything. I'm good and bad. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he
Sure.
believes he is evil. He just has a point of view that he is correct
Yes.
and doesn't
And he doesn't
ascribe to
care about
regular
doing what-
morality.
He
That's
doesn't care. Okay, I'm gonna do some like really horrible things to get my thing done. I don't care that these things are horrible.
Well,
that's a topic of another episode
Yes.
that
Yes, it
we've
is.
already done.
yes, but if the Broken One could also have some meaning to when Odium says to Dalinar, "We killed you."
Oh yeah, that's its own podcast too.
I know, I know. I'm just saying that is relevant
How
it is
how
relevant,
relevant
ish.
to brokenness.
because he's broken, and so maybe he's split up into a bunch of avatars or something. I don't know. Like the Broken One, he's literally broken, and then he uses the royal we.
Only one time.
Only one time.
Autonomy is secretly invested in Roshar.
Technically, all 16 are invested in
Brandon.
Roshar.
Brandon.
Twice,
Why don't
Brandon.
we- Let's no.
I'm just imagining a death rattle that's sand is coarse. It's rough and irritating. It gets everywhere. And I'm just cracking up. I find that hilarious.
See,
And that-
if I was writing the Stormlight Archive, I would absolutely do something that referenced some stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah,
That would be
yeah.
amazing. Brandon,
Yeah.
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
Everyone
Brandon,
go
please do
send
not.
Brandon an email to say to do that for some.
Don't do it.
Don't do that.
At Brand Sanderson. Anyway,
Hey, Evgeni, this. How did we do this? That this wasn't planned, I swear.
this is not planned. We're not editing the wiki article so that those forum post death rattles I mentioned earlier line up so that I get to read them.
How is that possible? And you just checked every single one of them. You're going to read.
I think the next one is also. I'm not sure. I have to double check.
But this one, how did that work?
This one is. This one is. So deja vu. Oh.
Yep.
Deja vu.
Uh-huh.
I am standing over the body of a brother. I am weeping. Is that his blood or mine? What have we done?
And the subject was an out-of-work Veden sailor?
Sure.
It's important.
Maybe.
Okay, yeah. 11-7-3-1-0, 107 seconds pre-death.
Yeah.
Do we know how many
That's a-
seconds
that's a
are in
long
a Rashard
time.
minute?
Well, the
Oh,
broken one
yeah,
was
50.
84 seconds pre-death.
Yeah, that's what I was looking. Like, I was gonna comment on
The
how the
slow
broken
death.
one.
You're
Well,
saying-
Peter said it's 50 seconds per minute. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Right. But it's
Isn't
just
Earth
interesting.
second a Rasharan second though?
Rashard in
Yes.
seconds.
Okay.
Rashard in seconds. Just don't
we
have to
do
be
have
like-
a few. We do have a few that are a long time quote unquote long time pre-death.
Yeah, the broken one and this one are the longest that we've read so
No.
far.
Well, so far, yes.
So far in our list. that we've
Yeah,
read.
but scrolling down, I see a 73, a 95,
Yeah.
of 142, whopping 3 minutes pre-death. Anyway,
Oh, that's interesting.
standing over the body of a brother. This could be a biological brother. It could be like a brother in arms type of thing.
Sure. Okay. That's fair.
Be a bro, you know.
Yeah.
Also that.
It could be your
Cough,
bro.
cough, Bridge
yeah.
4, one of Kaladin's many crews. Huh.
Oh,
Um,
no.
Adolin weeping over Kaladin's dead body.
Rip. In the Night of Sorrows. Confirmed.
It-
Hashtag confirmed.
Sure, on Vax.
On Vax. In
I'm
the
weeping.
underground caverns of Amia.
Is that his blood or mine? What have I done?
What have we done?
What have we done?
Not what he did. What we did.
Yeah.
So
This is
I
very
have-
strange.
an
This could-
idea.
Yes.
It doesn't work with the blood,
Look,
but
these ideas have not been structurally sound. These are hot takes. So bring it.
I'm sure that some Knights Radiant would view their Spren as a brother.
Oh, jeez.
Okay,
Oh.
moving along.
Well, no, I'm saying it's like standing over like the corpse of their Spren in Shardblade format, the Recreants. Like, what have we done?
Okay, sure.
But it has blood.
Yeah.
That's why I said this doesn't work with blood.
It almost worked until we got the blood part.
Maybe it's like later when they get all stabbed by the people that hunt them down. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it his blood or mine as my shard blade stabs me? But
Yeah.
yeah,
Meta.
fair
Meta-
enough.
This
Metaphor.
could kind of fit Tien's death.
I don't
It doesn't
like
feel
that either.
important enough to me,
Yeah.
Look,
unfortunately, for TN.
look. There's
need
two
to be.
radiants there. That's an important event.
No, like it doesn't need to be. Like some of those could be purely like world buildy.
I just don't see. I feel like most of these epigraphs have a purpose. Like that will later become clear, or like like Brandon didn't put these in for no reason. And I just feel like we learned about Tien and Cal's death like in this book, so I just don't think it's all that.
We also learn about the heralds fighting off the Dancing or the Parsh, the Fuse.
Well, that's
the-
called
the-
just foreshadowing. So the
Yeah.
purpose could
Like
just
the-
be generic
Like,
foreshadowing.
we know that Tien dies, and like it doesn't feel significant to me at all.
I agree that it doesn't feel significant enough. I don't think it needs to be.
I feel like, I have an idea
Hit me.
that a brother and himself were fighting, and the thrill made them go way too far, and then one of them died, and they're like, "Whoa, what have we done?" Boom.
I do like that.
It's specific, but it could work. Yes.
I don't know why that would be an epigraph, but sure.
There are like foreshadowy unmade ones in here though.
Yeah,
so-
true. Well, that is certainly true.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I like the idea of him throwing in some really obtuse ones
Yeah.
that
Oh, yeah.
might not ever totally be clear.
Yeah.
Mother, I'm cold. Okay.
Yeah.
Every time someone is cold, it is referencing
They are
this
bleeding
one.
her, so she's probably gonna feel a little cold.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Cool. Ooh, this next one's also, this one is a subject of much debate.
All right. It says he must pick it up. The fallen title, the tower, the crown, and the spear. Vevach, 1173, 8 seconds pre-death. Prostitute of unknown background.
So this is interesting in that it's a quote of something.
The kind of the obvious like symbolism here is the tower and the crown is very Dalinar.
And the
It's
spear's
House
very-
Colon.
Yeah.
And then
Mhm.
spear tends to be associated with Kaladin.
Yep.
It kind of bothers me like the asymmetry that like two of them refer to one person and one refers to Kaladin. Do you understand what I'm saying?
That's
I-
when all of House Colon dies and Kaladin mustn't take charge and leads the Night Radiance.
Okay.
But
Easy.
yeah,
Dalinar
boring
does-
take perspective. Like they need to become Knights Radiance. And that's what it is. That's the fallen title, is the Radiance.
Yeah. I've
Also-
always thought this was the tower, like at the end of the Way of Kings, the tower.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Or the
Kaladin-
tower could be Urithiru.
Also,
It's a town city.
Dalinar does give Kaladin a cloak with the House Colon's glyph pair on it at the end of Way of Kings. So
That's true.
that's the tower and the crown. And Kaladin has a sphere.
Yep.
So it's like this could all be related to Kaladin and his connection to House Colon.
And becoming a radiant.
Yeah.
Accepting that
Yep.
is what he is.
I think it specifically refers to Kaladin's decision to go back and help Dalinar. Because that plays into
Mhm.
into both the tower/crown imagery of House Colin and
Sure.
the spear and the fallen title of Radiant.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But it
that's
could
a
be
very-
a broader.
Pivotal moment
Mhm.
in the
Yeah.
Cosmere, but not for the Cosmere.
Well, things would be pretty bad if Dalinar died there.
Yes.
Just
Probably.
saying. It would not be good. We wouldn't have...
Yeah.
Wow. That actually is a lot more significant than...
Damn it, Sadius.
Yeah, seriously, right?
The burdens of 9 become mine. Why must I carry the madness of them all? Oh, Almighty, release me. Observed on collected secondhand and later reported to the Silent Gatherers. Subject was a wealthy Light Eyes.
What does this mean, guys?
Yeah. Now it's Tom.
It's Taln. Okay, next one.
Wait, just one
Yes.
thing. Now
Yes.
move on. Do we think there's any more significance to when he says the word madness and like the madness of the heralds, or is he just kind of saying, I'm getting all this torture right now?
I
this
think it's
sucks."
just referring to getting all the torture because they needed to
Yeah.
share the pain to survive.
Yep.
Basically, that's what the Stormfather says.
Yep.
Mhm.
So, like,
fun fact, the date is just a little bit before he returned.
Oh,
oh yeah, you know the timeline real well.
that is cool. That is actually
That's-
really cool. If it's
that-
him in like his breaking moments where he just
Yeah.
can't take it anymore.
That's actually really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Ooh, this next one's good. A woman sits and scratches out her own eyes. Daughter of kings and winds, the Vandal. Collected on Palaheven, 1173. 73 seconds pre-death. Subject was a beggar of some renown, known for his elegant songs.
So a
Oh.
creative person
That's
singing
Hoyt. Big
Oh.
guy.
Right?
of
Yeah.
the herald of creativity.
And this is referring to Shalash.
This
It
is
is.
actually how we figured out that Shalash was the daughter of Yezrian.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
All the way back in pre-Words of Radiance, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We figured that out a long time ago.
Mhm.
Some
That was-
keen
this was
death
this was a
rattle.
good this was a
Yeah.
good find.
Yep.
But yeah, we don't. That's all there is to it.
Great.
Light grows so distant, the storm never stops. I am broken, and all around me have died. I weep for the end of all things. He has won. Oh, he has beaten us. Collected on Pala Hekev, 1173. 16 seconds pre-death. Subject was a Thalen
16?
sailor.
16? Oh my god! No way. And the previous one, it was 1173, 73 seconds pre-death. Whoa, crazy.
Vroom.
Whoa. Well, David, I can see why you got the impression of a storm never stopping. That was
Yep.
just an eternal storm.
I'm a close reader.
I mean, it just says it right here.
If it says something literal, I pick up on it.
Whoa, no way. Do we think future vision probably of bad stuff? That's what I
In the
think.
book.
It does look like a future vision of bad stuff. I don't
Yeah.
think we can talk about much about what happens here.
Yeah.
Because it's just kind of generic looking post-apocalyptic, end of days type of thing.
Yeah. The storm never stops, probably Everstorm, but it is kind of weird even still because
Yeah.
well, the thing is that the Everstorm, David, during a battle, Odium just can have the Everstorm there the whole time.
It is ever, too.
So, in places where it's important, he can just keep the Everstorm there and move it around. And
The forever rain.
Oh, I don't think he can move it backwards.
well,
Seems
that is
unlikely.
true. There is no evidence that he can do that. Yes, agreed. But he can hold it.
Yeah, he can
Alternatively-
speed it up and hold it in place,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
which kind of
Alternatively-
matches with time travel, where it's you can speed it up or slow it down, but you can't turn it backwards.
Maybe that'll be Dalinar. He can move the high storm in the next book, and he'll speed it up.
I do want to offer an alternative explanation to this one,
Okay.
and that it is a pre-first desolation or first desolation type of thing. The storm never stops doesn't refer to a meteorological storm. It refers to the fused not going away.
Okay. Before the Oath Pact.
Before the Oath Pact, I don't know who would be the speaker of this vision. I don't think that's necessarily important. Light grows distant. It could be a metaphorical thing for losing hope. In fact, even if it's a vision of the future, it could still be the same thing. I am broken. All around me have died. Standard stuff you would expect from the end of days. I weep for the end of all things. Standard stuff you would expect from the end of days. He has won. Oh, he has beaten us. Could be something somebody says before, when they think they've lost. I will concede that it's a little weird to talk about Odium as the enemy that early on.
Well, I mean, the
Um,
singers weren't super thrilled about him,
They
about Odium,
weren't,
but
Until later.
and
but if the storm that never stops is the fused, then
yeah,
it's a little weird.
it's
a little weird.
I
It's
feel
probably
like
the
it's
future.
talking about the future. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
She's
But
gonna make fun of you, too.
we move on to yet another death rattle that I'm gonna read for the second time.
We're not good. Yeah, this is weird. This is weird. You foresaw the future. You're Odium. We need to kill that guy.
I didn't read one of the ones you read out.
whoa. No.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
Don't do that.
yeah. How will you carry our episodes if you didn't talk so much?
Hey, I have fans.
Yep. And you also had a suckling child. I'm trying to do a transition here. Read the death rattle.
That was seamless. Let me just say.
I know. This is the production quality you want.
Yes.
The content you want, the production quality you want.
And not the people you want, but
No.
you're stuck.
Definitely not.
Death rattle. I hold the suckling child in my hands, a knife at his throat, and know that all who live wish me to let the blade slip, spill its blood upon the ground, over my hands, and with it gain us further breath to draw. Collected on Shashanan, 1173, 23 seconds pre-death by the Silent Gatherers. Subject was a dark-eyed youth of 16 years.
What?
Let me say that again. of 16 years.
And
Sampo is of particular note.
Is it?
It says it in the...
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, why did they say it was of particular note?
Because it's pretty scary. They're like, damn, that seems bad.
No, it is interesting.
It
that
does.
It could reference what the silent gatherers are doing. They're killing people. They're drawing blood
No.
in order to get these
All
visions.
who live wish me to let the blade slip. As if you're
And
holding a
cut.
knife to the throat
Yeah.
and then letting it slip and killing the person.
Yes.
The child.
All who live.
The
That's
little child.
Creepy. That's so creepy.
Yeah, but I... yes, all who live. That
Wow.
could just be the silent gatherer saying, like, this is important to save humanity. Like,
Yeah.
anybody
sure,
who knew would say, oh, yeah, cut.
Also, maybe Aurordan pissed off a lot of people. So,
Oh,
all who live.
Cal cannot lose another brother.
I know
Yeah.
that would be terrible.
That is a
Yeah,
popular
that-
theory that this is referring to Kaladin
That is
killing
a
his little brother.
theory.
I really hate that theory.
That would
And I hate
be.
it so much.
That's really dark.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I have always heard the theory that people have, which I also don't love, because A, it would have been protected too early, and B, like, I don't like it, that Odium will make his champion a child, and then Honor's champion will be unable to do something so terrible, and so that's how Odium will win, because they're unwilling to lower themselves to that. I don't love that theory, but I thought it was worth a mention.
No.
So it is interesting. The other one that we read that was of particular note was the Reshi Chul trainer who saw Shadesmar
Mhm.
and was saying, "Healer, why do you take my blood?" So I think that is
Oh.
interesting.
Blood.
Well, just that it
kicking
could be
blood.
referring to the hospital because of particular note is
Yeah, it's like, hey, this is talking about us. Like, we should pay attention to this.
Maybe. I just don't think that, maybe it's
Well-
just me being too specific, they're not cutting the throats of any suckling children, because those suckling children can't say a death rattle. 'Cause They're not talking.
Yeah, that's true. And also there's another one of particular note that is not this. It is not
that's
like this at all.
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
Unless they can. I wonder if babies. Oh, that's too dark. Never mind. We're gonna move on.
I wonder if babies nope I'm out.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I agree. It is of particular note, but we don't exactly know
16
why.
years. Whoa. 16. 16 is in it.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
What else could this mean? Could this mean anything? I don't know. Why is if it's not referring to the hospital, why is it of particular note?
I think it's just because it's referring to something where all the world wants something to happen to save the world.
Yeah.
It is of particular note because it appears to be one of 4 that
no, that you coincidentally needed to read. Yeah, that's what it is. So guys, I know longtime listeners will not be surprised about this in any way, but we've gotten through about half of these. So
oh no.
I think maybe I shouldn't say maybe the next ones will go faster. We probably shouldn't say that on this show. That's a dangerous thing.
Maybe
But-
the next ones will go slower.
that is a possibility.
I mean, that is a logical possibility. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do Who's That Cosmere Character? We'll do the next ones later.
This character is from Roshar.
Menace.
Tien.
Tom.
Braze.
Void in drag on a horse.
It's time for Who's That Cosmere Character? Caw. Okay. You know the game, friends. You send your clues. You get to interact with us. Send in characters with 5 clues to Who's That Cosmere Character at gmail.com. Send just 1 per email. Thank you. And we will read them aloud and we will see if people can get these. And statistically speaking, usually Ian does. All right, great. So
You
this
gotta count for
one,
a pair.
this was courtesy of Gof Custom. I didn't say the first. It's GOUF. Gouf?
Interesting.
Gauf.
Joff? Are you saying Joff? No. Anyway, clue number 1. We watch this character learn to fight.
Ken.
Paladin.
No.
Who?
Ian said Ken.
Who
One of
is
the
Ken?
singers.
The singer.
female singer.
Oh.
It's KHEN, not Ken as
Oh,
in Ken
I was
Jennings.
like Kendall. Yeah, I was like, I'm not seeing that.
And no, it is not Calden.
Vin.
No. This is better than this character is on Roshar or male, female. It's like, interesting.
Okay, male,
That is-
female
that
cuts
is
it down by
true.
50%.
Well, more actually.
And this character's Rosharan cuts it down to like 80.
50%. I just realized this was sent in November. It's gonna take a while, guys, for your Who's That Cosmere characters to be read, but someday they will be.
Oh no. It's gonna be one of them.
One of who?
I hate this.
Are you thinking about the women in Elantris who learn how to fight?
Yes.
That's what I was thinking
Yes.
of.
That's pretty
Yeah, I'm
good.
like, I was like, what is the queen's name? And I have no idea.
I know her name. That's the
Oh.
only one, though.
Well, great.
What are their names?
Eerie Rira.
I don't know. I'm just gonna guess Sen, so we move on.
No, it is not Sen. Clue 2. This character does not have an invested art.
You can guess the queen.
Teora,
Yeah, I
Teora from
I-
Elantris.
It is not Teora.
I think her name is Marishi.
Starts with an E.
I don't
No,
No,
know.
Marishi is
Oh, is that
like
someone
That
else?
is a
an
character.
artist.
Are you
No.
referring to Marishi or the queen?
No, I'm referring to who I said.
Was it
The queen.
Matisse?
Matisse is the little girl. From the
It is
Hope of
not
Elantris.
Matisse, and wasn't Matisse an Elantrian?
Oh, that's
She
the
was-
other one.
Yes.
Literally, the
what's-
clue is they don't have an invested art.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking that's the name of the queen.
No, the queen's
No.
name starts with an E.
I
can't remember what it is.
I do know
Ishin. Her name is
Ishin.
Ishin.
That is it.
that, it is not Ishin, but
Damn,
I
that's all I know
actually
then.
remembered that Elantris character name. Clue 3: this character is rich.
Fantastic.
I don't know. Okay, if it's another Elantrian noble, I can't help.
Maybe, or it could be Rosharan.
Well, yeah.
Not invested.
Yep.
Rich and learned to fight.
Would you say
Adolin?
Shalon is rich?
Mm.
Oh, she's an invested art. Damn.
I would say so, yeah.
No,
She
she's
has
got-
an
she's got
invested
magic.
art.
She's got magic.
Adolin?
I didn't. That was
It is
my
not
guess.
Adolin.
It's a reasonably good guess.
Vivenna before she learns to awaken.
It is not Vivenna before she learned to awaken.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she learns to awaken before she learns to fight.
Yeah, I kind of thought that too, but I'm really out of ideas.
Yeah, I thought about her too, by the way.
I'm gonna guess Telrai,
No.
but I don't think he learns to fight. So
No.
I
he-
don't think he learned
He gets
to fight
his
either.
throat cut by Yondel and just dies.
yeah.
Yeah.
We don't see Serene learn to fight either. She already knows how to fight.
She already knows, yeah.
Yeah,
'cause
she trains the others.
Yeah, and you know she's like the best one. So,
but she is rich and not invested.
I know that's why I was thinking, and yeah,
This is just really interesting how like this one has gotten to sell rather than Rosharan stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I keep like I want to guess Duke Royale, but I'm trying to think of someone else, so I go away from Cell.
I don't think he
What-
really learns to fight either. Like he's
Well,
super-
that's the other reason I want to
Oh, yeah.
guess him.
Now I have Let's Get Down to Business from Mulan stuck in my head.
See, I just keep thinking of
Who's
women
this
for some
character in
reason
Mulan?
for this.
Hmm.
Rich, not invested. Like there can't be
Oh.
that many people who learn how to.
Oh, I know.
Do you?
I do, but I can't say because I already did my guess. So we're gonna pray that I can spit it out really quick next
You're
time.
gonna
I'm
pray
gonna-
that the next guest fits with what your guess is.
I'm
No,
gonna
I'm
I'm
just
gonna
gonna spit
bet
it out.
on this being a poorly worded question, and I'll guess Elend.
Damn it!
It is not
Okay.
Elend.
Like he has an invested art.
But he
Like,
learned to fight before that happened.
That is true, and that's what I was betting on.
Was
Yep.
that what you were thinking, David?
That literally was.
Oh, that's
God
funny.
damn it.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
I specifically discounted that in my head because, like, oh no, he becomes an Elementor. So
But we're just
Clue
like I can't think of anything
4.
better. So
Clue 4. We watch this character fall in love.
Oh, jeez.
Well, that's useful. Also, I think our guesses have overlapped every time, David.
I know. Yeah, we're in the same brainwave here.
It's only the wrong one.
Yeah.
Torina.
It is Torina.
I don't know who that is.
It's one of the noble ladies, Serene.
Did I say?
Yeah.
Oh, did I?
She
Okay.
ends up dating Shuden.
Yep.
I said her name wrong. That's who I meant earlier when I said Teora.
Okay.
That was, I had the
Well,
name wrong.
that's.
I'm
Well,
gonna give
I'm
myself a
sorry
good
that
credit.
all
No, it's
Celish
okay.
names look alike. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not. No, I got it wrong. I just in my heart know that I
So
was.
there
Yeah,
is
I thought
no-
you said Deora.
Yeah,
Which
because
Oh, I
is
said
I did.
Teora.
There's
Yeah, 'cause
probably a
it's-
Teora.
no, there isn't because it's Aeon Deo.
Oh.
No, but Teo is also an Aeon. Teod.
Tio.
I say it
I
however I wanna
refuse to
say it.
accept, Brandon. Sometimes E's are pronounced like A's. And A's. No,
Yeah,
that's
I hate
stupid.
that too.
People just hate everything about Aurelish.
I can't wait for the
Hey, really?
Elantris sequel so everyone can be salty about it. I'm excited.
It's
I
gonna be great.
love Airlish names.
Well, good for you. And clue 5 was this character is Celish. So
Hey, we were right on point, guys.
you
We were
totally
right
were
in
right
point.
on
We were
point,
on.
and I'm like, what if it's Rosharan?
Yeah, thanks for
No.
that. No misdirects from the narrator or from the game master, Eric. You're trying to throw us off.
Look, there was one time where I didn't respond, and that gave it away, so I had to play it.
Oh yeah, because it was Kenton.
Yeah, because it was Kenton, and I gave it away, so I have to play in.
Yep.
All right,
Sure.
character 2. This person was sent in by Hugo.
Okay, glad someone else.
Yeah. Oh, was that one too tricky for you?
That was
I
a good
mean-
one. That was my favorite one.
No, it was a good one. Yeah,
It was a
That
good
was
one. This is a good one. Of course, Ian would get it. Not surprising. Okay, all right. I'm just gonna read this as is. All right.
Oh no.
Whoa.
I
What
don't
does
know
that
if I
mean?
like how you
Have
said
you been?
that.
Have you not been reading them as is?
No, I just I have, but this clue 1. This character appears on page.
Great.
Okay.
This is a
It's
character.
So literally all of them.
Is it? Well, is it for someone from art though?
Yeah,
That's what I'm
I
thinking.
think that's
if they're
what that
being really
means,
tricky.
Yeah.
Like, is it Mickey Savage from Mistborn Adventures, Eric?
It is not Nikki Savage, but that is a good guess.
I am 100% going with this line of thinking and guessing Shallan.
It is not Shallan.
It's Vale
I'm going to
Shallan,
guess
yeah.
Bright Lord Sterling, who is a fictional
Ooh.
character from
Oh.
the Rosharan Pride and Prejudice that
Ooh.
Alista was reading.
No, it is
Oh.
not Prylord
Okay.
Sterling.
What are the other names of those characters, Ian?
I have no idea.
Guess them all.
The name of the book, by the way, is An Accountability of Virtue.
Pride and Prejudice, basically. Like, that's what I'm going to remember it as.
I'm going with Tinsoon.
It is not Tensoon. Clue 2. There are records that lead to the conclusion that this certain someone doesn't like wax.
Oh,
Elementor Jack.
Element. Yeah.
It is not Allomancer Jack.
Damn it.
Oh,
Oh wait,
Is it
wait,
Handerwin?
sorry. I didn't read this clue correctly. My apologies.
Okay.
There are records that lead to the conclusion that her certain someone doesn't like wax.
That hurts. What?
Her
Is this-
certain someone.
what's her name? What's her name? What's her name?
What?
The
Oh, are you thinking about Renette's girlfriend?
No. I'm
Describe.
thinking
Describe.
Allomancer Jack's girlfriend who is a Kolos blooded.
She isn't like. Oh yeah.
It is
I know.
Allomancer Jack's girlfriend who is Kolos blooded, which is Lysandra Dramali. Which a description suffices here. I think we can all agree that a description suffices.
I'm here.
Oh. If
Yes.
description suffices in the future, then I'm going to get a lot better at this.
Well, yeah, but if it's a group of all the women Serene trained, then it's like, okay, they're Allomancer
Oh, no,
Jack
I'm
only
just-
has one
okay.
Kolos blooded girlfriend.
I know. I
I
would have. I would have
That we know
described
of.
Harina pretty specifically if that was an option.
Well, that's the first.
Live and learn.
Live and
It
learn.
usually is an option.
It usually is an option. Okay,
But,
guys.
like, there's a danger with that because if someone guesses their name, then
Yeah,
if your description lets
Yeah.
someone else guess the actual name,
that
then...
is true. Clue 3 was this character likes to curse. Clue 4, this character uses makeup to conceal his/her parentage. I'm not sure why his/her is here when her was written in the previous clue.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I'm reading it as you sent it in. And clue 5 is this character is not human. So,
That's
Eh,
debatable.
well, that
I would consider Kolos blooded humans.
Steel Inquisitors are like a separate race.
Well, yes, Steel Inquisitors are like
Yeah, but she.
I am
yeah.
glad we didn't get to clue 5.
Yeah, I think Clue 5 is going to be the subject of some stuff in Era 3 too, because I'm pretty sure they're discriminated against. So
I imagine they would be, because that's how people work. So, guys, we are going to talk about more Death Rattles. Actually, not next week, because next week has a very special episode due to the 500th day after a previous thing. But after that, we will talk about more Death Rattles, and you won't remember what we were talking about, but we're going to assume that you did. Great.
just go back and listen to
Yeah,
this.
yeah. Just give us another view. If you viewed it before, just view it again. Increase our numbers. Great, thanks. Speaking of
Fantastic.
increasing our numbers, whosthatcosmerecharacter.com for all your news, discussion, theories, and fun that you could ever hope for, and pedanticness. Lots of that. Come on Discord for also those things. You can ping us. You can talk with us about how you love and/or hate, or both. Well, that's and/or. Whatever. And follow us on Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, YouTube. Leave us a review on iTunes, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.
See
You've
ya.
killed me, you bastards.
You already made that joke, so
Yeah, you really did.
Yeah, I
It
know.
only gets
That's
funnier. It only gets funnier.
full
with
circle.
repetition.
Full circle.
Yeah.
No, it's-
Well, it's not full circle because there's another part to this, Evgeni. Caw.